All right, so your resume, or I like to call it as your passport for success. It's something that people are going to be talking about all the time. They're going to have opinions on. Hey, that's great. What we're going to look at is 5 real straightforward points to think about when you are delivering a resume, crafting a resume, or looking at your next career opportunity or experience. I'm going to base a lot of this based on my experiences and what I have found to be successful for me repeatedly, or based on the venue, the business, the opportunity, or the industry that I was in. I have a background in graphic design, IT, administrative work, business development, marketing, just to name a few things to kind of give you guys an idea of what some of the things you're going to see here. They're really applicable for every industry, and I'm sure there's going to be clear takeaways for everybody watching. So if this doesn't really fit your industry right away, that's fine. Just roll through. I'm sure there's going to be some clear takeaways for you. So 5 steps that we're going to go through, or 5 points to keep in mind. Number 1 is really just to make your resume really clear, easy to read. Okay, so that includes fonts, font sizes, making sure that your information is organized carefully. Above all, just making it a document that somebody wants to read. You don't really pick up a book you don't know and look at the author and go, yeah, I want to read that. You might see the cover, it might look interesting, you might read the back, that's kind of cool, then you flip open to the book, you land on a random spot, and if it's something worth reading, then you say, okay, I'll buy it or I'll invest it. Your resume is no different. And again, it really caters on an industry by industry situation. So for example, it can be something very straightforward like this document here. You're not going to see any contact information on this, but I'll let you know where it is. This is a generic resume that I would put, not generic resume, but a very jobs greatest hits, if you will, highlight resume that I would put on a job board. I don't like putting my contact information any more than maybe a email address that I know a company will be able to contact me for. I don't really like giving my phone number unless I know definitively, hey, this is an opportunity I want to be contacted by right away, or I've heard of the recruiting firm, staffing agency, things like that. It's 1 page. It is 1 page, just front, okay? I don't even have experience details under the titles, just the titles, and it's really focused specifically on skill sets. I'd recommend something like that for people who maybe haven't been in the field, or they've had gaps of employment, or they're looking to do a different industry altogether. That's something to look at. But it could be something like that. It could be something a little more fancy, printed on nicer paper. This is specifically more towards project marketing experience, project management experience. It's 2 pages. It's a lot more detail. It also, format-wise, doesn't have any contact information because the recruiter that I sent this one to requested that. It could be something even as funky as a comic book piece, which I've done before as well. Again, each of these have been successful in each of their own right. This has actually been one of the most memorable resumes I've handed off, and there are certain recruiters that I still speak to this day that remember me because of that resume. It could be something even as simple as a mailer. So these I would send out to somebody who I really want to impress. Okay, and I know that for a fact they're looking for print experience, they're looking for marketing, they're looking for somebody who has a creative mind. This document here, this brochure, does exactly that. It also comes with a quick reference resume card. See this, and how this works is this is literally this, but just diluted down to an inside insert that fits in here. Also has a business card that detaches from that. So there was a lot of thought and consideration that went into this document to make sure that, hey, you know what? This person, this company, this organization knows that I am clear on creative thought and thinking outside the box. I don't have to tell them. This document explains that. I've actually got numerous, not only brochure jobs off of this, but also business opportunities because of the fact that I'm thinking differently. So that's super important. And that actually leads me into my next point is, as you've seen multiple documents for the same person, I can do all of these things. Each resume and each document reflects that a little bit differently. So you want to be able to pick the resume approach that best suits the need of that job or that requirement or that company. That's really important. So if I sent this off to a design company, they may think I'm more of a graphic artist rather than a graphic designer or marketing individual. So each resume is going to speak a little bit differently. All right, so number 3, know the job, know the company, and know that you can do the job. So this is different than just blindly applying for a job. You want to make sure you've done the research for the company. I know that people they say these type of mantras like, oh, what do I do? It's going online, you look up them on LinkedIn, you look at their website. That's all you have to do. Strike up a conversation. Hey, there was something on somebody's LinkedIn page, the CEO of a company. They started up their business with $1,000 loan or $5,000 loan or something of that nature from their father. They borrowed some money. That was a talking point that I was able to bring up in an interview. They realized that I have gone through, looked them up, did their research. They were interested because they knew I was interested. So you want to make sure that not only do you know who it is that you're going to be speaking with, because it's good to have a name and a face to go with the interview, but it's also good to have everything that's reflected on your resume telling you that you can do that job, telling them that they can do the job. If you know you can do it, eyes closed, your document should reflect that. All right, so that was number 3. Number 4 is be clear in your resume. So when we talk about having the ability to do the job, have it clear as day in your resume. If it's a financial position, you should have financial experience. Even if you have to tweak your title slightly, do so. People do that all the time. I'm not saying to lie, I'm just saying to adjust it where it's necessary. If I'm a project manager and I'm doing project management work in a company, but then I want to focus a little bit more, let's say for example, in an IT-based, customer service-based document, I'm going to flex that to be a systems administrator, IT tech and office support. They are literally the same things. You're just adjusting the title. As long as you've done the work, that's all that's really concerned, but you want to be just real clear in your resume as to what it is that you've done and why this company wants to hire you to do these things. Very straightforward. All right, and number 5, believe it or not, this has nothing to do with any of these documents. It just has to be courteous, polite, and cordial. Be nice. Be nice. If you are with a company and they do not hire you, guess what? Be nice. If you're with a recruiter and they blow you off, you don't have to speak with them nasty. You don't even have to deal with them anymore. Just thank them for your time and move on and ignore any emails from that individual. It doesn't mean that that organization is bad. It just means that that particular individual is just not going to work out for you. If you're not, chances are that when you go to deal with that company again, you're going to be part of a blacklist that they say do not hire. And that's what happens in a lot of recruiting and staffing firms. They'll say you'll have, they'll have your resume on file and all of a sudden do not hire. Nasty on the phone, something of that nature that it will not allow you, it basically disavow you from having any opportunities through that company moving forward. The type of work that I do, I'm dealing with all kinds of temp agencies, contract agencies, things of that nature. So you don't even know who it is that's going to be dealing with you moving forward. I had an interview with somebody 2.5 months ago now. And as of this recording, they have actually resigned from their position because the company that they were bringing me in for it just wasn't working out for them. But we kept in contact. I made them a lot of great recommendations, network, and they're actually now a friend of mine. You never know how this works, and you never know who's going to be your next boss. They say this all the time. It really does happen, okay? All right, so from the top, make your resume easy to read and something you want to read. Again, make sure that the fonts are nice. Make sure that it's a document that is something you would read yourself. Do not put your address on it, and do not have the length being more than 3 pages if you can help it. Number 2, pick your resume approach based on the company and the position. Do your research. Number 3, know the job, know the company, know you can do the job. These are really, really important. Number 4, be clear in your resume communication. Do not lie. Do not lie. Number 5, again, be nice, regardless if you need to be or not. So are there any other topics, questions, or anything else you would add to this video? That about wraps it up. I appreciate you guys checking this video out, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again.